Commander, urgent message from Alliance Command coming in.
Oh?
I'll patch it through.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett from Alliance Command. We've got a situation here, and you're the only one that can handle it.
Okay, go on.
What do you need, Admiral?
There's an Alliance training ground where we test weapons and technology in live fire simulations. One of the VIs we use to simulate enemy tactics in the drills is no longer responding to our override commands. It's gone rogue.
Huh?
Are you telling me this computer is thinking on its own?
We're not stupid, Shepard. This is a virtual intelligence, not a true AI. It's not self-aware, and it can't access any external systems. We didn't do anything illegal here. Virtual intelligence support is critical to our military success. VIs process thousands of status reports and react in nanoseconds. No human can do that. We need you to fight your way through the training ground of the VI core and manually disable it.
There's no other way?
Can't you disable it remotely?
Our failsafes aren't responding. The VI operates on a closed network. It can't affect any external systems, but we don't have any direct access to its processes. We could bomb it from orbit, but the damage to the facility would be catastrophic. We'd prefer to have someone shut down the core. Someone like you. I know Spectres answered the council, but you're still human. You're still part of the Alliance military, and right now we need you. The VI controls all the facility's weapons, drones, and automated defenses. You're the only one that can pull this off, Shepard. Good luck.
Alright. So, interesting information on that one. Side note, but, so Admiral Hackett is basically the leader of the Human Alliance, the human military, and, which is, as he stated there, technically, I suppose, still, sort of, in some ways, he's our boss in the sense that, well, are we technically still a member of the Human Alliance military, or are we, once we became a Spectre, did we kind of just throw that out the window and we're a Spectre and only a Spectre? That part I'm actually not sure about. But, despite technically Spectres not answering to the Human System Alliance, we will get a lot of missions from Admiral Hackett, as we already have started to do. This one in particular is one that I was waiting for. This one we absolutely want to go to immediately, and you will see why eventually. So, we'll zoom out, and we will forget about this whole Argus Rogue cluster for the time being, because instead, we've got what is actually going to be, truthfully, the furthest left, so to speak, of all the non-directly quest-related missions, and local cluster, you say? Huh, what is that? Well, let's go check it out, because, Sol? Huh? Sol, you ask? Sol, only system in this cluster? Let's travel there. Because it might look familiar. What is this? Mercury? Venus? Earth? I'm seeing here? Yeah, this is our home system. At least in the case of humans. Technically speaking, I forget, I believe we might have said that Shepard was a spacer, in which case he technically grew up on spaceships and may not have actually been born on Earth. But, anyways, unless you're an alien, I believe Earth is probably your home planet, you the viewer. But anyways, one other side note here is, so this quest, and we'll actually take a second here to read the description while we're at it. This quest here, so it is UNC Rogue VI. UNC is maybe not the most accurate description of this, but a Rogue VI taken over an Alliance training ground located on Earth's moon. That's why I say it's really uncharted. I mean, we have a pretty good sense of what's going on the moon. Alliance Command needs you to eliminate the VI. So head over to the Sol system in the local cluster and deal with the Rogue VI on Earth's moon. So we're heading to the moon, and this mission becomes available to you as soon as you reach level 20. And so we did just reach level 20, and that's why level 20 is a significant threshold, because as soon as you do reach that, you probably do want to make a point to go in here. It is going to be on the difficult side, but I think it's worth pushing ourselves a bit to try to make this happen. So let's, before we hop over there, let's take a look around and see what there is to discover here in this strange, unusual system that we've definitely never seen before. Mercury. A handful of solar power stations exist on... Also, interesting. Obviously, this is taking place in the future, so, you know, this may be a little different from the local system you and I are used to. So a handful of solar power stations exist on peaks of eternal light at the north and south poles of Mercury. The difficulties imposed by the planet's proximity to the sun and high orbital velocity have limited development. It means there's now a 340 population on Mercury, of all places, despite it having a 430 degrees surface temperature, and little to no atmosphere, and quite minimal gravity. But that's Mercury for you. Then Venus, I was asking about this before. Just how hot is it? Just how thick is the atmosphere? 90 Earth atmospheres. Is insane, and 465 degrees Celsius. Not the hottest we've seen, but that might be the thickest atmosphere we've seen, and very similar to Earth gravity-wise. With its molten temperatures, sulfuric acid clouds, and crushing carbon dioxide atmosphere, Venus has only a handful of aerostat research outposts. Presumably, well, actually, I don't know how they've set those up. Because, yeah, you know, it's not exactly the easiest place to be living. In theory, I believe it would be possible to set up floating stations. I don't know if you call them space stations if they're in Venus's atmosphere, but the atmosphere is so thick that I believe it may be possible with some creative engineering to make that happen. Otherwise, yeah, living on the surface of Venus, good luck. Then, this place I've never seen or heard of before. For detailed information, please refer to the standard issue Alliance Galactic Codex. Earth orbit is riddled with debris generated by bootstrap space development. Use of kinetic barriers is recommended at altitudes over 85 kilometers. Population on the surface, 11.4 billion. Population L4 and L5 stations, 250,000. So that is presumably some space stations that are in and around in Earth's orbit. And that's a pretty sizable amount for space stations. I mean, obviously, nothing compared to the Citadel, but still. And, well, there's all the comparisons we were making to, you'll see one Earth, or atmosphere pressure on Earth is one Earth atmosphere, duh. Temperature 23 degrees Celsius, and obviously gravity 1G, although I don't even think it bothers to mention that. Everything else is basically just, yeah, one Earth. Also, the visual is interesting here. I'm just thinking about, okay, what is this? Is, I believe it's like year 2180, either 7 or either 83, 4, or 7, something in that range. But, yeah, so, like, you know, 160 or so years in the future. Would things look like that with, some stuff flying around and everything looking super modern? Maybe. Maybe. That's Earth. Luna, aka the Moon, is going to be, at least in Spanish, is where we are going to be heading for the main mission, so we'll head over there in just a second. Let's take a look at Mars, though. Once considered a prospect for terraforming and colonization, the discovery of faster-than-light travel turned Mars into a quiet backwater. Its southern pole is a historical preserve centered on the Prothean ruins found there. Immigration and development are restricted as search for Prothean artifacts continues. There was a colony founded, and it actually has 3.4 million people there. Capital is Lowell City, and, I mean, that's a pretty sizable population, and so, you know, for everyone that, again, I think I was talking about this before, but yeah, my my college thesis was on colonizing Mars, so that's why I have interest in that, and that's why I sort of draw some of the comparisons, and for point of reference, you know, we've been referencing the statistics for Earth from an atmospheric pressure standpoint, temperature standpoint, gravity, what have you. So, look at Mars, which, of course, is a planet that people have considered for colonization. Very little atmosphere. I could tell you a whole lot about that. That is one of the things I focused on. Temperature as well, and it's quite cold. And wild swings of temperature as well. But the gravity is, I mean, definitely less, considerably less than Earth. But nonetheless, all things that theoretically could be overcome, and just think about all the other planets we were looking at previously from distant solar systems in which the statistics, the numbers, they lined up much more with Earth than Mars does. So if Mars was something we consider for colonization, then just think about how high the prospects could be for those other planets that have conditions much closer to that of Earth. So that's Mars. Then we have the Asteroid Belts, which don't think we're gonna find anything here, but I'll just do a quick check. That was Mars. Don't think there is anything though. Jupiter. Jupiter's deep gravity well and lethal radiation have kept its moons from being significantly exploited. I actually didn't remember that Jupiter had lethal radiation. Wow. Largest outpost is Binary Helix Corporation's Nautilus facility, attached to the underside of Europa's ice sheet, which is one of the moons. Population on all moons is 9,100. That's still something, for sure. Then we have Saturn. Saturn has been a major source of helium-3 fuel for fusion plants since the 2050s. Oh, right, or 2150s, I should say. Way back in the day. The moon of Titan is mined for hydrocarbons and used as a hostile environment training facility for Alliance Marines. Population, orbitals, and Titan. 117,000. I already forget what it was in the case of Jupiter, but that's, again, somewhat sizable population. Obviously nothing compared to Earth, but there are people there. Okay, then we have, is it Neptune? Or Uranus, rather? Third year? Which, of course, rotates vertically, like that. After the development of Mass Effect FTL drive, distant Uranus was the target of a land rush, they say of a gas giant, to exploit its combination of plentiful helium-3 fuel and shallow, or gas giant, gravity well. Today, Uranus is the largest producer of helium-3 in Alliance space. And that actually means a very sizable population there, just from the space stations around it. So that's cool. And then we see two orbits that look very close to each other, and the reason for that is because, yes, in fact, Pluto's orbit does overlap with that of Neptune's orbit. In fact, is far more, what's the geometry term? Elliptical, right? Than Neptune's. It will go a little bit further in, but it will go way farther out as well. So, I mean, this is simplifying it quite a bit, I think. But, anyways, here is Neptune, and at the time of Mass Effect 1 getting created, no, I think Pluto was not a planet anymore. It was already considered a dwarf planet. This game isn't that old, okay? I don't think. When was that? I'm pretty sure Pluto became a dwarf planet before this game. Several years before this game came out. Neptune. Though Neptune, like Uranus, has plentiful helium, its remoteness made it an unpromising target for mining before development of Mass Effect drive. With Uranus cheaper to exploit, it has never seen extensive development. The only permanent human presence is a small research facility on Triton, one of the moons, and the population there only 70. So then, let's find where Pluto is hanging out. There you are. Pluto is one of Sol's numerous ice dwarf worlds. It is mainly of note for being the gravitational anchor for the Prothean mass relay to Arcturus. Pluto and the Charon relay, formerly encased in ice and considered a moon, orbit each other. Yeah, so just to unpack that for a second, Pluto, as we in the year 2021 on Earth currently understand, is a dwarf planet on the edge of our solar system, sort of, that has a very large moon called Charon. It is so large, in fact, that it's not the same size as Pluto, but they are, in many ways, they're almost orbiting around each other, collectively. It's almost a stretch to call it a moon in some ways. And, in fact, that might have been partially the reason why Pluto, got demoted from a full-blown planet. But, so what they're saying is that, well, you know, once upon a time, we were ignorant and we thought Charon was just a moon. But now we know better. Now we know it was just, actually a Mass Effect relay, and, it was just a case nice, so we just needed to, you know, get the antifreeze out, and, you know, turn up the heat a bit, and, it turns out now we can blast ourselves halfway across the galaxy with it. So Pluto's orbit was circularized in 2157 as a side effect of the Charon mass relay recovery operation. So, like I was just saying, in the year 2021, Pluto's orbit much more ovular, or, again, geometry word that I'm currently forgetting, not circular, relative to what we were seeing in-game here, but they're saying by activating the Charon relay, it made it more circular. So the population on the stations there, 9,300, even for something that is way out on the edge of the solar system. So that's, because of the importance of that mass relay, it does make some sense. And of course, very cold, very little gravity, and very little atmosphere as well. Technically, I think the atmosphere in some cases freezes over into solid, which is cool. I may be misremembering that, but anyways. So there's some information about our solar system that you may or may not have already known. But anyways, as for this mission, we're talking about our moon, Luna. An early source of helium-3, Luna is now mined for materials used in space habitat construction. 24 major stations have been constructed at Earth's L4 and L5 Lagrange points, all from lunar resources. There is a colony on there. It was founded a while ago, and actually it's 4.1 million people. Capital's Armstrong, that makes sense. Okay. And it's cold. Basically no atmosphere. Makes sense. But, let's lay it. Okay. So, as I was kind of hinting at before, this is gonna be another tough mission. As for what we go for here, let me think. I think this one, it may make some sense to bring Tally. It may make some sense to bring, I mean, we should probably have at least a little bit of combat strength. So that would mean Garrus, Rex, or Ashley. What's our preference there? It might actually be Garrus. In other words, going very tech heavy. And I think you'll see why. Get a little shot of Earth. A big shot of Earth. Okay. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the moon. Let's take a look. So, we've got the Alliance training ground is the primary place we're looking for. We do have this debris here, but then we got a whole bunch of ground to cover here, and I think we will do our fair share of exploration just to check out what else is going on here. So, I mean, we can just head up north. But actually, before we do that, let's see. Oh yeah, we did level up toward the end, and before we had the chance to allocate any skill points for Garrus, and then Tally. It's been a while for you, so we have fully upgraded your hacking. That I think will be a good thing to have on you. Then, other tech abilities. I think the hacking is the only one that is unique to you in that everything else we have on Commander Shepard. So, can we toggle the helmet on Tally? Oh, hold on. No. I was gonna say, I didn't think we could do that. You can on other characters. Now that just looks silly. Not sure if I like it because it's so silly, or if I hate it because it's so silly. It's, I'm on the fence. It does look ridiculous. That much I can say for sure. I guess we'll keep it for now. Nah. Well, we won't do that to Garrus. We'll be nice to him. Okay, but anyways, Tally, your skills. Mind me, Quarian Machinist, you can get tons of tech resistance and even more shield capacity. That is pretty nice. That's a huge amount of shields. And tech resistance does make what would normally be one of our weaker characters, again, no combat abilities, and other than just load up on shields with electronics and, well, Quarian Machinist, not very easy to make you a stronger defensive character. Well, I mean, we do have basic armor, though. Hold on. Unlock first aid. I mean, we've so many people with access to that skill, and I'm not sure that's terribly interesting. Shield boost for a character that is relying very heavily on said shields is maybe not a terrible idea. And then I think we were also trying to get shotguns unlocked. At least get you up to Carnage, which offensively is probably the biggest improvement we can make at this point, because further upgrades to damping, decryption, not so relevant when we can do that ourselves. Electronics, I mean, they all do still help the damage and radius of things and explosion damage and... But, I mean, electronics probably the most relevant if we are to further upgrade any of these things, just so that you can load up on more shields, though, then again, probably content with using Quarian... Is it Machinist or is it Machinist? I don't know. But probably rather use this skill for that anyway. So, how greedy do we get? Let's go unlock shotguns. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's get Carnage. And then let's start thinking defensively here. This first upgrade gives us 60 additional shields, which is the equivalent of 2 electronics upgrades. Usually those would just give you 30 apiece. So I think this first one is very good value for 1 point. So let's do that. And then we still have Garrus here, who is, yeah, got a lot of offense going on right now. And, what were we going for? I think we did some Turian Agent recently. We did... What else? Yeah, in some ways, you're almost starting to run out of stuff that looks intriguing to us, Garrus, other than just further loading up on the damage, which I guess is not a bad thing, per se. Let's see, so that's what, 3% accuracy per level and 1% damage with snipers and assault rifles. It's a little uninspiring. It's a little uninspiring is the thing. I feel like assault training, also 1% damage each level. I'm not sure how relevant that melee damage really is, but at least gets us closer to advanced adrenaline burst, which, although is not something that I'm super excited about, at least has a little bit better long-term prospects than just, you know, further major upgrades in the future for Turian Agent. So I think we probably do still go here, unless we want to try to go more defensively and give you a Master Shield boost. It's not a terrible idea. We'll go Assault Training. Okay, and let's just take a second here to make sure that Tally has decent gear. Most importantly, shotgun and or pistol. We did pick up a lot of good shotguns recently. This Tornado 5 looks like that's a pretty sweet shotgun. Let's use that. And then let's also make sure... Yeah, That looks good. Actually, what was your high caliber barrel for damage? Slower shooting, worse heat absorption. God, well, I mean, we don't have great alternatives other than just combat sensors on the shotgun, so that's a bit unfortunate. Let's just double check your pistol here. Should be able to do better than what you have right now. This is just objectively better at everything. This is higher damage, higher heatsink capacity than your shotgun, but lower, or rather than your existing, better damage, better heatsink than the Kessler, but lower accuracy. Is that preferred? I think so. We put on some upgrades here. Not sure we want to put anything great on your pistol, because for the most part, it's probably going to be something you're only resorting to if, say, an enemy uses an ability that prevents you from using your shotgun, overheating your weapon. So, in that case, I think weapon force on the pistol is probably silly. Could even go with chemical rounds, just because it's a relatively quick-firing weapon, although maybe we'd say that for someone who's using assault rifles instead. So yeah, we'll just give you armor piercing. Not one of our higher level ones per se, and then give you some detection. Why not? Armor-wise, we have not gotten any new actual armor for you. But in terms of armor upgrades, we can give you even more shields. We can give you generic damage protection, or we can give you hardening. Again, provides defenses against specifically tech and biotic-based abilities rather than, say, bullets. But, although it's not always a great idea to load up on one type of defense, like just going all out on the shields, if we can give you a way to restore said shields, then that's not a terrible thing. As long as we proceed with caution. Speaking of proceeding with caution, just want to make sure we see everything there is to see here. I don't think we need to worry about pressure moths on the moon. I think we're pretty safe from that. I think we, Lance Armstrong and crew may have faced a different fate if there were, in fact, any pressure moths on our moon. We probably would have discovered alien life much more quickly in that case, I would also venture to say. So, should be able to rest a little bit easy, at least in that regard. But we'll see what else we can come across here. And it kind of just looks like we're in a big crater of sorts. It's also, I suppose, fine. Makes things relatively easy to traverse. Oh, and look at this. Did we know about this before? Oh, we did. Okay. That's not necessarily new. Hold on, let's just check this corner first. Make sure we aren't missing anything here by going straight to that debris over there, or whatever it may be. Okay, that's the edge. So now that we've established that, oh, and look at that! It's our home! Okay, it looks like it's a little piece of debris over here. Probe of sorts. Oh? Hello? Shall we salvage it? Whoa, this is a tough one. How do I even break through this thing? Through here? Oh, that was an opportunity that I missed. I pressed the wrong button. Full speed ahead! Oh, except there's actually going to be an opportunity at the very end there. I like this angle. I like this angle a lot. Too quick. That's what happens when I actually try to move around side to side. Okay, incendiary explosive and shredder rounds. predator rounds being the anti-organic / human stuff, which is good because I think most recently we had picked up some of the some higher level versions of the anti-organic, or rather anti-synthetic rounds. That was an amazingly productive time to jump. So, let's just take a look at our map here real quick. What I want to do is make a point of just, I mean, we went basically up there, but let's hug this western wall. And just make sure we're not missing anything there. And, some signs of something over there, but that's more middle of the area and perhaps indication of where we are ultimately ending up going. Because yeah, you can see there's that X on the map, which I believe, yeah, is going to be Alliance Training Ground. That is the primary location that we're trying to go to. It does have signs of enemies, and well, Admiral Hackett did say that we were the only one who could get this job done, because it was not going to be the easiest. So I suppose that would suggest there's going to be some form of resistance. Ooh. Okay, well, let's not try to fall off the edge of the moon here. The moon is flat, confirmed. Probably don't need to be this close to the edge. That was also probably not necessary. Yeah, like, this is the kind of situation that you get used to with the Mako, or at least you will need to get used to, because it's going to become very common. Climbing up these steep inclines at the right angle, and by right angle I mean, well, oftentimes, yes, you will be quite literally trying to drive up 90-degree angle slopes. It's pretty insane, but if you actually don't try going straight up it, but come at it from an angle, then oftentimes you can, in fact, actually do it. Okay, so what is this down here? Because this doesn't look like that's our objective. I don't think. I think that's a little further away. We are now approaching the edge of the world in the southerly direction as well.
You need to turn back, Commander. You're going beyond the range of the operational area.
And that's what happens when you do start approaching the edge of the map. I mean, I'm actually surprised that Joker said that to us when we were not actually in the red yet. So, hard to tell from this range. But, like, if we just look at our map here, that'd be awfully far to be the actual objective. Looks like the actual... Okay, I get it, Joker. Yeah, so in case it wasn't clear, those are turrets, and they are currently trying to shoot at us. Now you can see them on the map. So this is not the best place to be trying to attack them from, of course, because we have precisely zero cover at the moment. But if we could find a place where we can sort of hide behind a bit of the rubble and snipe them, that would be lovely. Because, of course, we can now hear they are not terribly far away from us with those shots, but, like, this is kind of what I'm referring to. In fact, we could do this, poke our heads out, give them a quick blast, and take some cover, wait for their explosive to hit where we just were. Oh, I missed. That's embarrassing. And our big cannon has a bit of a recharge time. There we go. That's another reason why I'm deliberately just kind of poking out. Get a big hit on them. Pop back out. Let their projectiles hit the stones behind us. not even necessarily sure I'm shooting at the same one here. Oh, uh-oh. I was, a little slow saying that one. I might have missed. There we go. One down. There are 4 in total, I think. At least in theory, that reduces the risk a little bit. Even if they do manage to hit us. Let's see, there's one here that I think we've shot once, maybe. Okay. Guess you again. There we go. 2 down. Now let's go for the one that's a little bit further to the right. Hold on. All those projectiles landed yet? There's one there. That's definitely the first time we're hitting that one. I think it took us, what, maybe 3 hits to take them out previously? There we go. Oh, maybe just 2. Maybe just 2, to tell you the truth. I mean, there's now only 1 left. I think it's the one that's actually not entirely sure where this one was. Where are you? Kind of hiding. You're right there. Okay. We kind of need a better angle for you. Just 1. Assuming this is not going to hit us? Good. There we go. Alright. All those turrets down, and they give us a sizable chunk of experience as well. So that's good. But, yeah, those were just 4 random turrets. As you can kind of see now that we've taken them out, we have some time to investigate. There's, hold on just a second. There's nothing else over there. So, we'll keep on moving. I mean, it's still a great source of experience. Because that was collectively over 1,000, I think. In fact, possibly even more on the order of 1,300. I'd say we're, what, 364 apiece or something like that? So, I don't think we know of anything specifically on our map here other than just the main quest. Yeah. So we're just gonna generally move around here a bit, see what else pops up. And if we do encounter any more of those cannons, then we'll do what we can to take them out. Mako is definitely our friend in that regard. At this stage, Mako cannon is quite powerful. As we saw, I mean, 2-shotting those turrets is very useful. Ooh, that is a rather large pit. It's another thing with the Mako is when you're at the high elevations, it is generally nice to stay at the high elevations. Those may have been projectiles shooting at us. I did see there was a yeah, based on the frequency of those explosion sounds, sometimes the Mako crashing into stuff makes a similar sound effect, but on this occasion, I don't think that's what we're hearing. I did see some red markers. I thought they were far enough away that they wouldn't notice us yet, but I'm afraid they may have. Let's see. Is that actually going to be the main one? No, this is way too far away to be the main one. So this, I believe, is just going to be another set of random turrets. Let's find maybe a better angle from which to approach them. One that we can actually hit them from. We lucked out a lot in the previous one. You know, we had a really nice place to just duck behind, take some cover, and then poke our gun out for a quick shot every now and again and immediately duck back. So that way we're basically unhittable, as long as I didn't take an eternity to aim. Which I nearly did on a couple of occasions, but can we get something similar to work out here? Perhaps, perhaps not. This is what I was referring to with the Mako before. Just don't ever try going up on a straight angle. They're over here somewhere. Where exactly are said turrets? I hear them. They see us. Oh, they're actually up there. They're up higher than I was giving them credit for. Can you hit us? You can. You absolutely can. Maybe, actually? I'm not entirely sure. But I'm not sure we want to take our chances. One of them is down. Yeah, those were headed straight for where we were. Not sure if we can actually hit you from here. At least now you know where they are. That was a bad idea. You should not have jumped. Not from that angle. Yeah, they've got a good position on us here. I think that's one of them. Kind of hard to tell from here. That's definitely one of them, the one that is currently firing that rocket directly at our faces. If you could just, like, not fall all the way down, that'd be lovely. So again, no, we don't want to be ascending at quite this much of an angle. Want to level out more, then we'll actually be able to move. Sort of, except that's the wrong direction you're turning in right now, Mako. Cooperate. Here we go. There we go. There's the physics-defying Mako magic. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, could this be just the kind of cover we would like in this situation? It may be. It may be. Can we poke out enough? Hit any yet? Like you? I think that's the one that we've already destroyed. Woo, well, they've noticed us. Yeah, we've relocated, it would appear. I mean, if we go straight up, then we absolutely could. But, be putting ourselves much more in harm's way. Well, I mean, that might work. We definitely hit one there. Give them a second for their projectiles to land. Presumably they did get some off. Yep. Or they'll just fly over our heads. Okay, it's another one down, and like I said, that was a lot of experience we're getting from them. In fact, enough so that we did just level up. Just trying to not fall down this thing real quick.